botanical gardens now. Botanical gardens, they are scientific plant institutions for the collection of living plants. Yes, you're getting that. In the herbaria, we stored pressed, dried plants. But here in the botanical garden, there is collection of living plants. That's why they are also going to be known as living herbarias. Let's write it down. They are scientific plant institutions for collection of which plants? Yes, living plants. That's why they are also going to be known as living herbaria. Got this? Now in the botanical gardens, the plants which are grown, they are from different geographical areas as well as they are of different types. Different types and from different areas. In the botanical gardens, also the labeling of plant is performed. Yes, the plants which are grown here, they are also being labeled. In the labeling, you will provide vernacular name, scientific name, mostly scientific name, and along with that, family. Family is also given. So now we have to see what are the positive points which are associated with these herbaria and cite certain examples. One example is National Botanical Garden. Yes, National Botanical Garden. This is in Lucknow, India. Next one, Indian Botanical Garden. This is in Havra, India. Now, what are the uses? What are the significance associated with botanical gardens? Three uses we can discuss here. One, that the botanical garden, just like the herbaria, they can also help in identification of plant species. Help in identification. Along with that, they will also provide the raw material for the research purpose, like the seeds which are required for the research purpose, for the scientific research. This raw material that can be obtained from botanical gardens. So they provide raw material for research purpose. Nowadays, the botanical gardens, they are gaining lots of importance. Yes, they are gaining lots of importance because they are involved in the conservation of endangered species. Endangered, the species which are about to extinct. They are involved in the conservation of endangered species. Now, conservation is of two types. If you are conserving the organism in its natural habitat, then you are going to call it as in situ conservation. But when you are conserving the organism outside the natural habitat, then you are going to call it as ex situ conservation. You are getting it? Natural home के अंदर कंजर्व करा तो क्या कहना है आपको? In situ. Outside the natural home, if it is conserved, outside home it is conserved, तब आपको क्या कहना है इस कंजर्वेशन को? Then it is known as ex situ. Right. So now you have to tell me botanical gardens comes under which of these categories? Yes. So botanical gardens, they are going to represent ex situ conservation strategy. Now after the botanical gardens, now we are going to deal with the museums. Now museums. Museum, they have collection of both preserved plants as well as animals for study and reference. Yes. So now museums, they are going to conserve plants as well as animals, preserve them. Museums, they have collection of preserved plants as well as animals, right? P for plant, A for animal. Now in the museum, the preservation can be performed in several ways. Can be performed in several ways. Like the one, the organisms, they are preserved in jar and containers having preservative solution. Preserved in jars and containers having preservative solution. Yes, preservative solution will contain alcohol and formalin. Along with that, insects. Insects, they are killed, they are dried, and they are then pinned in the boxes. So it means the dried specimen, they can also be kept in the museum. So this is for insects. Insects, they are killed, then they are dried, and after that they are pinned in insect boxes. Museums, they are also going to preserve animals in the form of skeletons. Along with that, in the museum, the animals which are larger in size, for their preservation, first these animals, they are stuffed. Large animals, they are stuffed and then preserved. Are you getting that? Yes. Why the stuffing of the animal is done? Stuffing of the animal is done so that the shape of the animal is maintained. Shape is maintained due to which identification of the organism is easier, right? So the preservation is performed in several ways in the museum. Let's write one name here for the museum, that is National Museum of Natural History. Yes, please write the full form. National Museum of Natural History. This is in Delhi. Now after the example, let's write some significance. Significance. One, they are going to have preservation of both plants as well as animals. Collection of plants as well as animals for study and reference. Along with that, the plants which cannot be stored in herbaria, they are stored in museum. Plants cannot be stored in herbaria are stored here, like algae. Algae is there, then the gymnosperms. In the gymnosperms, the reproductive structure, they are known as cones. They are of large size, they are woody. So these woody structures, they are preserved in the museum. After that, now we are going to deal with the zoological park, that is zoos. Now we are going to deal with zoological parks. In zoological parks, wild animals, they are kept in protected environment under human care. So now here, wild animals are kept in protected environment under human care. Now the conditions which are provided to these animals, it is almost similar to the conditions in their natural habitat. जो यहाँ पर कंडीशन इनको प्रोवाइड करी जाती है, वो कंडीशन ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर है जो कंडीशन प्रेजेंट होती है इनके नेचुरल होम में, नेचुरल हैबिटेट में. सो दे आर प्रोवाइडेड विद कंडीशंस almost similar to natural home, natural habitat. Now we will cite one example over here of the largest zoological park. So can you tell me where the largest zoological park is situated? Yes, it is situated in Africa. That is the Kruger Park. Yes, largest zoological park is in Kruger. That is South Africa. So now we are going to list certain functions associated with zoological parks. Now, just like the botanical gardens, they are also involved in the conservation of endangered species. Yes, so it means again they are going to fall in what type of conservation strategy? It's ex situ conservation. So they are involved in ex situ conservation of endangered species. Now, along with that, this is going to also help in the breeding of rare fauna. Yes, these zoological parks, they are going to provide the place for the breeding of rare fauna. Breeding of rare fauna. These are sources, these are the places of tourist attraction also. places of tourist attraction. Now, after dealing with the zoological parks, now we are going to deal with the last taxonomic aid, that is taxonomic keys. So now we have to start with taxonomic keys. Concept of taxonomic keys, it was given by the scientist John Ray. Now, what are the taxonomic keys? The taxonomic keys, they are utilized for the identification of plants and animals on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities. So, what is the function of the taxonomic keys? That is identification. Now, how you are going to perform this identification? Surely, identification of organism is performed on the basis of characteristics. So, in the keys, set of characteristics, scheme of characteristics, they are utilized in a sequential manner for identification of organism. Are you getting this? So, what is the function of taxonomic keys? That is identification. For the identification, there is utilization of characteristics. So, in the taxonomic keys, set of characteristics arranged in a sequential manner, they are used for identification of species. So, let's write this information over here. Taxonomic keys are used for identification of plant and animals on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities. How? Here, set of characteristics. Set of characteristics arranged in a sequential manner. Are used for identification. Now, to explain taxonomic keys, I will cite one example over here. Let's say there are 5 animals. These are 5 organisms. ये 5 एनिमल्स हैं और इन 5 एनिमल्स को हमने आइडेंटिफाई करना है और आइडेंटिफिकेशन के लिए वी हैव टू यूज टेक्सोनोमिक कीज. So for the identification of these animals, surely there is utilization of characteristics. Let's say the first characteristic which is utilized in the key, that is external ears. First character, that is external ears. Either the external ears, they are present, or external ears are absent. Now external ears present. तो ये जो 5 यहाँ पर एनिमल्स हैं, इन 5 एनिमल्स में से कौन कौन से ऐसे एनिमल्स हैं जो ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक शो करते हैं, जो ये फीचर शो करते हैं? Yes, among these 5 animals, one it is bat, another one is cat, which are going to possess external ears. So you can write it down here, bat and cat. And in rest of the 3, that is frog, fish and bird, external ears are absent. Frog, fish bird. So you have seen here that on the basis of this first characteristic, I have divided these 5 animals into 2 groups. So in the same way, I will keep on adding the characteristics so that the better identification of these animals can be there. So this is main character. On the basis of the main character, under this category, there is presence of 2 animals. For further identification of these animals, I will use more characters. Let's see the next character which is utilized, that is wings are present or wings are absent. Wings are present. तो इन दोनों एनिमल्स के अंदर किस में से विंग्स प्रेजेंट है? दैट इज बैट. सो दिस कैटेगरी इज गोइंग टू बी बैट. Wings are absent. This is going to include cat, right? Similarly, over here, this is main character. On the basis of the main character, how many animals are there? 3 animals. And for their further identification below the main character, I will use some more characteristics. Let's say again the characteristic which I am using here, that is wings. Wings are present or wings are absent. If the wings are present, which organism will come under this? That is bird. And rest of the 2, frog and fish, wings are absent. So under this category now comes frog and fish. Now for the further identification of these 2 organisms, some more characteristics they will be utilized. Now the next character which is utilized, let's say gills. Gills are present. Yes. Then which organism will come here? Which organism will be identified here? That is fish. And gills absent. This is going to represent frog. So what is this? This is set of characteristics. This is scheme of characteristic. And what is its utilization? This scheme of characteristics helps us in the identification of these 5 animals. So this set of characteristics which helps in identification of organism constitute taxonomic key. Yes, who got this? What are the taxonomic keys? Set of characteristics utilized for identification of organism. Now you can see here, every time the characters which are utilized here, they are utilized in the form of pair. Yes, one pair is this, one is this, then this one. Every time the characteristics they are utilized in the form of pair. Now in the pair, the characters which are present, they are contrasting or they are non-contrasting? Yes, surely these characters, they are contrasting. Like either the wings are present or the wings are absent. So this pair of characters, they are contrasting. This contrasting pair of characters represents couplet. Are you getting this? Pair of contrasting characters represents couplet. So in the couplet, how many statements are there? Yes, in the couplet, how many characters are there? 2. each statement which is the part of the couplet, this is going to represent lead. Each statement represents lead. And whenever we are performing the identification of organism, out of the pair, one of the lead is accepted and another lead is rejected. Yes, are you getting this? Among these two characters, if we look for the bat, this lead is accepted and this lead is rejected. So you got this? Pair of characters, they are going to represent couplet, and each statement in the couplet represents lead. Now, the last thing which I would like to add on here, that for different taxonomic categories, different taxonomic aids they are utilized. Means, ये जो एक सेट ऑफ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है, ये जो एक स्कीम ऑफ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है, ये हर एक लेवल पर यूटिलाइज नहीं हो सकती. फॉर ईच टेक्सोनॉमिक कैटेगरीज डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ कैरेक्टर्स दे आर यूटिलाइज. So for each taxonomic categories, different taxonomic aids are there. So the concept of taxonomic keys is very much clear to all of you. So this is all about this chapter. In this class, we have studied some part of taxonomic hierarchy, then types of species, and in the last, we studied taxonomic aids. So in the next class, we will be starting with the new chapter, that is biological classification. Thank you so much.